the weekend that Jesus met his death and then rose again, Easter weekend, there were a lot of perspectives, a lot of thoughts about that, a lot of questions. We've seen a few just now. And we're going to look at 3 modern stories, people that have encountered Christ, and yet they have a connection to this ancient man, the third man on the cross. Let's check it out.
Growing up, my family didn't really care much about God or church. They were pretty indifferent. My mother would go from time to time, however, it was far from consistent, and it was very far from our house.
Ow, Mom, you're pulling my arm!
I'm sorry, Holly, but we're late. We need to get in there. We just have a hard time getting here on time. Okay, so, you know, they don't like us to miss the first song. Let's get some donuts and coffee.
What I actually remember about that church is the huge auditorium.
Why are we even here? I don't.
And the donut holes.
Come on.
In fact, I didn't even start to understand why anyone would care to go to church until many years later when I was 20. It all started when I quit my job to move to sunny Florida. I didn't know anyone, didn't have a place to live, but I had a job lined up and a car packed with all I needed. I soon found out my friend's brother was working in the town where I was moving. He was such a great friend. He helped me get on my feet, helped show me around. But honestly, the best thing he did was invite me to his church. I met with him every Sunday. During that time, a change happened in the way I saw God. I'd always seen myself as a Christian, I guess, but now I looked at my faith in a whole new way. Not just as a belief, but as a relationship. 8 months later, I was back in Michigan, and my relationship was put on hold.
Holly, you've got to help me.
What?
The boss just asked me to come to church with her.
Okay, so?
So, what if I say something stupid? Or when I walk through the door, the whole place burns down. Oh my goodness, what if I say something about religion and hypocrisy, and what am I gonna do?
Okay, I really don't think it's gonna be that bad. You should just go.
Okay, what if it's a cult?
Okay, I'm sure it's not a cult. Okay.
How do you know that?
Well, it's not gonna be that bad. You should just go.
But oh my goodness, she's my boss, and what if she docks my pay or something? Oh my goodness.
Okay, she's not gonna dock your pay. I'm sure it's not that bad.
I can't go. You gotta go with me.
What?
Yes, you have to go to keep me from saying something stupid.
Okay. You're not going to say anything stupid, but if you want me to go...
I need you for support
I'll go.
and solidarity. Please. Oh my goodness. I love you. You're my best friend.
Yeah.
Okay, so see you Sunday?
Okay,
see you Sunday.
So I went to church that Sunday, and at first I thought it was a bit weird going to church in the same place that I attended high school, but I enjoyed that first service and found it comforting. I didn't go back the next week, or the week after that, or even a month after that. Then, a couple of months later...
There's that party girl. I thought you might need this morning.
Okay, yeah, thanks.
So that was crazy. Do you even realize what you were doing? You took off a shot from the bartender's belly button. Yeah, I posted pictures on Facebook.
Special.
Yep.
Thank you for that. That must explain the hair in my mouth this
Oh,
morning.
disgusting. Okay, so
Yeah.
Saturday night, Red Dog and karaoke.
I don't know.
What?
Saturday night?
Yeah, Saturday.
Well, I was kind of thinking I might have somewhere to go Sunday morning.
What? Where?
Well, I was thinking of going back to that church. I know you're going to think I'm crazy.
What? Okay, the boss's church?
Yeah.
I will admit that that place was a little more cool than I thought it was going to be, but that is no reason to miss karaoke on Saturday night.
I know. I feel like I have this urgency. I want to go back.
No, you are not going back. You cannot miss Saturday night.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
All right, so I'm right. You're not going to go back, and you're not going to turn into some weird Jesus freak or anything. You're my party girl, right?
Right.
Okay.
So, that weekend, I went to karaoke. But eventually, I did end up back at that church, and something clicked. And since that day, I've only missed one Sunday in almost a year. It's crazy to think that I used to be so indifferent to Christ. What if he had been indifferent to me, to us, and never gone to the cross for us? Sometimes I feel just like the third man up on the cross, next to him, hanging here, broken, knowing the mistakes I make, but knowing that he's right next to me, forgiving me, dying for me, holding a place for me in paradise.
For the longest time, my life was like a Christian sitcom. I was baptized in a Christian church, went to Christian school, attended a Christian university, where I met my Christian wife, got married in a Christian church, and had children who attended a Christian school. Every Sunday that our kids didn't have some kind of sports game, we went to church. We came home, and we checked it off our list, and it was good. So we thought. But then, February 13th, 2007, the bottom fell out. It was over. The best description of how I felt was that my closest living relative had just died. Devastation, worthlessness, confusion, anger, fear so powerful that it cannot be described in words. We needed help, emotional support, and we turned to our church, and our sad story fell on deaf ears.
Do you want to go ahead with it?
Oh, Pat, I heard about you losing your job. That's horrible. Just horrible. I'm going to add you to my prayer list.
Do you know anyone who might be able to help us? Maybe the church has some resources that would help us get back on our feet?
No, I don't. But I tell you what, you keep your head held up, you have faith, and I'm sure the Lord will provide.
What about counseling services? Anything?
I don't know. You know, even if we did, this is a very busy time with us planning for the church picnic.
And it wasn't just the church. It seemed like most people just couldn't be bothered. Well, I hit the pavement for work, hard. But by this time, the job market in Michigan had dried up. It was scary. I prayed, I cried. I felt like I was a failure. By July, I learned the same company was ready to hire me back as a real estate rep for them. For 6 months, I worked for a man who, without hesitation, was the most cruel, heartless, awful, mean man I had ever met. Then one day, corporate decided to let that position just go away again. This time, my reaction was different. Through steady, strong, deep prayer, I learned this. This is not God's plan for me. It was as if God had sent me back to the company for a wake-up call. It's like he was saying, this is not my plan for you. Then one day my wife and I went to an evening event that her friend invited us to at her community Christian church downriver. We went, and the most amazing thing happened. We were introduced to church in a completely new way. We learned that being a Christian wasn't about a religion, it was about a relationship. We were inspired after this pivotal night to seek God first. We started building this relationship, and miraculously, little things would begin to happen. Time passed, no church, but through our own self-determination, our relationship with God grew. Sue worked hard to find a church with the same relationship focus that was closer to our home. That's how we ended up at our church now.
Funny. It's funny. I've called myself a Christian all these years. I don't think I picked up a Bible once.
Over the next few weeks, my faith grew, and by the end of June, I had made that decision to live my life not for myself, but for Him. How am I like the third man? Think about it. All his circumstances, all the bad things that happened to him, landed him right next to Christ. What to the world can look like the worst thing that could happen to you, when viewed through God's eyes, can sometimes be the best. The best thing that ever happened to the third guy was getting crucified. The best thing that ever happened to me was losing my job. Religion didn't save me, going to church didn't save me, but Jesus, having the worst thing ever happen to Him, did. It's the best thing to ever happen to all of us. He died so that we can live. Very early in my life, I got the idea that God hated me.
Sister Catherine, why did God kill all those people in the flood?
Because, David, he was mad at them.
Is God mad at me?
Yes, little David, he's very mad. He's mad at all of us.
Why?
Because we're sinners. Just like all those people in the flood. You were born a sinner.
Is there anything I can do to make it up to him? I don't want God to be mad at me.
I'm afraid not. You could walk to school on your knees and it still wouldn't be enough to please him. Your only hope is through Mary, because she's his mother, and maybe she could talk to God for you and he wouldn't punish you so badly.
I grew up knowing inside that God is very real, but that He hated me. So I figured if He didn't care about me, I sure as hell wasn't going to care about Him. And I decided to be as bad as I could be.
I rode my motorcycle straight through the church, right in the middle of Sunday morning.
I did it on a dare. Why not? If I didn't care about God, why should I care about His church? Soon after that infamous incident, I was riding my bike down Woodward Avenue when the front end locked up and threw me over the handlebars at 50 miles per hour. The bike exploded into flames and was totaled, but I survived. They should have been cleaning me up with a fire hose, but there I was without a scratch on me, and I couldn't understand why.
What the hell? Come on! Why would you save me, huh? Huh? You don't care about me? Why the hell would you save me?
Then, I heard what sounded like thunder coming down from the sky, and I heard a voice say, "I want you to preach my word."
What?
Clearly, I didn't understand what I had just heard, or what he meant by it. And even if I had, a God who hates people, who wants to spread that word. So I joined the Navy, thinking all would be safe. But God wasn't done with me yet. I needed another good shake, and boy did I get one. In Vietnam. It was during the 68 Tet. Our PBR took a direct hit from a rocket. The explosion blew the boat to pieces. And once again,
by the cruel hand of God, I was the only one who survived. And I couldn't understand why. I felt so guilty that everyone else, some of the best friends I ever had, were gone, and I was left. After that, I just gave up on everything. Started drinking heavily, doing more drugs than anyone could imagine. I felt like I had nothing to live for anymore. Because of my drug and alcohol use, I was thrown out of the Navy. So for a year and a half, I just wandered around, staying stoned. Until the night of October 23rd, 1970. I was walking the streets. I felt a tug to go into this little church. I had no idea why. I kept fighting it, but the urge was overwhelming. So I walked inside.
Hi, can I help you? Would you like to join us?
I didn't know what to do. I'd broken all of the commandments and more. I felt like I didn't belong. I was half out of it from all the drugs I'd been taking. But as we sat there, praying and singing, my mind cleared up. For the first time in years.
Well, what brings you here today?
I don't know. You know, it's almost like God wasn't letting me not come in here.
Well, I'm glad you're here. Can I pray with you?
Yeah, I'd rather not, thanks.
Okay. You know what? It's none of my business, but when you walked in here, you seemed pretty messed up. Are you okay?
No. No, I'm not.
You know, life can be pretty horrible sometimes.
You have no idea.
Tell me.
It isn't fair, you know, they're all dead. Why are you coming and bidding them well? They're just dead. They're my best friends. Get blown up by a rocket grenade in the 68 tent in Vietnam. My best friends are gone. Why would he kill them and not me, huh? Why would I survive because I was in an armored gun tub? I'm the one God hates, not them.
God doesn't hate you.
Yes, he does. God hates me and I hate him.
No. You got to believe me. God doesn't hate you. God loves you. God loves you more than anything else in this world.
You're wrong.
I don't think I am.
How do you know?
I got proof. Have you ever read any of this?
Yeah, I've tried.
Well, this is a modern Bible. It has all the same stuff as the King James, but it's easier for folks like me to understand. Take it.
I took it home and started reading it. I couldn't put it down. By reading everything, I started to realize that God was not angry at me or out to get me at all. He really cared about me, and Jesus really forgives sin. His death, his resurrection, once and for all, wipes clean all the bad things I had done. The more I read, the more I started to connect to the men I was reading about. I felt like the third man on the cross, knowing that because of all I did, I deserve to be punished. But I know that he'll forgive me. I know that he is the only way. That night, reading the Bible, I gave my life to Christ, and my life has never been the same.